7 p.m. Rumor was loose in the air, hunting for some neck to land on. I was milking the cow, the barn door open to the sunset. I didn't feel the aimed word hit and go in like a soft bullet. I didn't feel the smashed flesh closing over it like water over a thrown stone. I was hanged for living alone, for having blue eyes and a sunburned skin, tattered skirts, few buttons, a weedy farm in my own name, and a surefire cure for warts. Oh yes, and breasts, and a sweet pear hidden in my body. Whenever there's talk of demons, these come in handy. 8 p.m. The rope was an improvisation. With time they'd have thought of axes. Up I go like a windfall in reverse, a blackened apple stuck back onto the tree. Trussed hands, rag in my mouth, a flag raised to salute the moon. Old, bone-faced goddess, old original, who once took blood in return for food. The men of the town stalk homeward, excited by their show of hate, their own evil turned inside out like a glove, and me wearing it. 9 p.m. The bonnets come to stare, the dark skirts also, the upturned faces in between, mouths closed so tight they're lipless, I could see down into their eye holes and nostrils. I could see their fear. You're my friend. You too. I cured your baby, Mrs., and flushed yours out of you, non-wife, to save your life. Help me down, you don't dare. I might rub off on you like soot or gossip. Birds of a feather burn together, though, as a rule, ravens are singular. In a gathering like this one, the safe place is in the background, pretending you can't dance, the safe stance pointing a finger. I understand. You can't spare anything, a hand, a piece of bread, a shawl against the cold, a good word. Lord knows there isn't much to go around. You need it all. 10 p.m. Well, God, now that I'm up here, with maybe some time to kill, away from the daily fingerwork, legwork, work at the hen level, we can continue our quarrel, the one about free will. Is it my choice that I'm dangling like a turkey's waddle from this more than indifferent tree? If nature is your alphabet, what letter is this rope? Does my twisting body spell out grace? I hurt, therefore I am. Faith, charity, and hope, all three dead angels falling like meteors or burning owls across the profound blank sky of your face. 12 midnight. My throat is taut against the rope, choking off words and air. I am reduced to knotted muscle. Blood bulges in my skull. My clenched teeth hold it in. I bite down on despair. Death sits on my shoulder like a crow, waiting for my squeezed beat of a heart to burst so he can eat my eyes. Or like a judge, muttering about sluts and punishment and licking his lips. Or like a dark angel, insidious in his glossy feathers, whispering to me to be easy on myself, to breathe out finally. Trust me, he says, caressing me. Why suffer? A temptation to sink down onto these definitions, to become a martyr in reverse, or food, or trash. To give up my own words for myself, my own refusals. To give up knowing, to give up pain, to let go. 2 a.m. Out of my mouths is coming, at some distance from me, a thin, gnawing sound which you could confuse with prayer, except that praying is not constrained. Or is it, Lord? Maybe it's more like being strangled than I once thought. Maybe it's a gasp for air prayer. Do these men at Pentecost want flames to shoot out of their heads? Did they ask to be tossed on the ground, gabbling like holy poultry, eyeballs bulging, as mine are? As mine are. There is only one prayer. It is not the knees in the clean nightgown on the hooked rug. I want this. I want that. Oh, far beyond. Please, call it please. Call it mercy. Call it not yet. Not yet. As heaven threatens to explode inwards in fire and shredded flesh, and the angels caw. 3 a.m. Wind seethes in the leaves around me. The trees exude night birds, yell inside my ears like stabbed heart. My heart stutters in the fluttering cloth body. I dangle with strength going out of the wind, seeds in my body tattering the words. I clench my fists, hold no talisman or silver disc. My lungs flail as if drowning. I call on you as witness. I did no crime. I was born. I have born. I bear. I will be born. This is a crime. I will not acknowledge leaves and wind hold on to me. I will not give in. 6 a.m. Sun comes up, huge and blaring, no longer a simile for God. Wrong address. I've been out there. Time is relative, let me tell you. I had lived a millennium. I would like to say my hair turned white overnight, but it didn't. Instead, it was my heart. Bleached out like meat and water. Also, I'm about 3 inches taller. This is what happens when you drift in space, listening to the gospel of the red-hot stars. Pinpoints of infinity riddle my brain, a revelation of deafness. At the end of my rope, I testify to silence. Don't say I'm not grateful. Most only have one death. I will have 2. 8 a.m. When they come to harvest my corpse, open your mouth, close your eyes, cut my body from the rope. Surprise, surprise. I was still alive. Tough luck, folks. I know the law. You can't execute me twice for the same thing. How nice. I fell to the clover, breathed it in, and bared my teeth at them in a filthy grin. You can imagine how that went over. Now, I only need to look out at them through my sky blue eyes. They see their own ill will staring them in the forehead and turn tail. Before, I was not a witch, but now I am one. Later, my body of skin waxes and wanes around my true body, a tender nimbus. I skitter over the paths and fields, mumbling to myself like crazy, mouthful of juicy adjectives and purple berries. The townsfolk dive headfirst into the bushes to get out of my way. My first death orbits my head, an ambiguous nimbus, medallion of my ordeal. No one crosses that circle. Having been hanged for something I never said, I can now say anything I can say. Holiness gleams on my dirty fingers. I eat flowers and dung, 2 forms of the same thing. I eat mice and give thanks. Blasphemies gleam and burst in my wake like lovely bubbles. I speak in tongues. My audience is owls. My audience is God, because who the hell else could understand me? The words boil out of me, coil after coil of sinuous possibility. The cosmos unravels from my mouth. All fullness, all vacancy.